If your website is collecting contact information from visitors, meaning you have a contact form, you have a newsletter sign up, you use an analytics tool, you use heat maps, any of that, you need a privacy policy and terms of service on your website. Legally, you need this on your website to protect yourself. Otherwise, you are liable. You could be at risk for a lawsuit. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but it's happening. Just like people out there love to sue McDonald's for a hot cup of coffee because it was too hot. People are going after website owners. And so you need to protect yourself by having a privacy policy and terms of service. Now, there are a lot of places you can get privacy policies. There are free generators, there are contract shops, there are lawyers that have templates. Some of these are better options than others, but I want to show you why I recommend Termageddon. This is what I use for myself. It's what I recommend for all of my website design clients. And I think it is a really great solution, especially for small business owners who maybe don't have the bandwidth to keep up with all of the changing laws that are happening out there. So I want to show you first that in 2023, and I'm sure there were some before this, but let's just keep it somewhat recent. New states that came out with specific privacy laws just for people in their state: California, Virginia, Colorado, Utah, Connecticut, and Quebec in Canada came out with their own set of privacy laws. It does not matter if your business is not located in one of these states. It still applies to you if someone from one of these states visits your website. Then in 2024, Oregon, Texas, Montana also joined the list of states that have new laws. And we have 8 more coming in 2025. Delaware, Iowa, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Tennessee, Minnesota, and Maryland. A lot of states are coming out with their own specific privacy laws around how websites are managing and handling the information of your visitors. What are you doing with that information? How are you protecting it? Why do you need it? So we have to be specific on our websites about what we are doing with this information. That's what a privacy policy is. So I love Termageddon because it actually keeps you up to date with all of these new updates. Every time there's a new state that comes out with a new law, Termageddon updates that in your privacy policy. And all you have to do is go log into Termageddon and answer a few questions, and they'll tell you like, okay, this is what you need to insert into your privacy policy. So I want to show you how easy this is. So this is the Termageddon dashboard. So this is what you see once you, excuse me, sign up for Termageddon. This is where you basically create your privacy policy, cookie policy, and terms of service. And usually you would see like a warning here on this dashboard that says like, hey, you have questions that you need to answer. You also get an email. They'll email all their users and say, hey, like such and such state has come out with a new law, and you need to fill out your information so that you can be, you're protecting yourself and abiding by these new laws. So, um, edit policy details, literally all of these operate the same way. You just go through questions like this. Do you get, X amount of revenue from California? Do you control or process the personal information of X amount of Colorado residents, Utah, like Oregon? And so you answer the questions, and you'll see they even have a little question icon here that pops up and will tell you like, hey, this is what this means. Like if you're not sure, they'll walk you through so you can determine like, okay, yes or no. So you answer all the questions. There's a few screens. You'll click next and go through all of those. And then once you're done, it'll take you to the embed code. And you just copy this and put it on your privacy policy page. And you don't At least in my experience, you don't actually have to go update the embed code, it automatically updates. I say it in my experience because I'm at some point, it may require you to update that if there's a dramatic change or they have to add a whole new section, things sometimes tech changes, but this is really easy because you just have to answer the questions. You don't have to redo this part every single time. You just answer the questions and then you're done. So, and you do this for the privacy policy, cookie policy, and terms of service. You can also add, they have options for the EULA and a disclaimer. And the EULA is typically for like apps. And then the disclaimer most of the time applies to like health and wellness websites. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, those kinds of things. So you have the embed code for each policy. These all need to be on a separate page. One, from a technical perspective, the embed codes should be on separate pages. But two, some could argue like, oh, well, I didn't see their terms of service because it was buried on the second half of like your privacy page. So that's something to also note. So that's why I recommend Termageddon. It is very easy to use. It's an amazing tool, helps protect your content. Highly recommend it. There is a monthly fee, but if you use my affiliate link down in the description below, you can save 10% on your first year. And this, I feel, is very worth it, and especially for peace of mind, knowing that you are abiding by a lot of different laws. Just another thing to keep track of. So definitely check it out. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video.